So, I have opinions. I have mixed feelings about this for reasons. Oh man, where do I start? I have never read a Superman comic. I have done tons of research. Obviously, I'm going to compare it to Henry Cavill's because that's the most recent one. Henry Cavill's Superman was more humble. This Superman so far seems more arrogant. Like, especially in that interview with Lois. The CGI does not look that good. It looks better than DC CGI has. Like I say, it looks better than The Flash, but not by much, in all honesty. Crypto, for the most part, looks fine. Again, you can tell it's a CGI dog. And like, I don't know if it's because maybe they're using too much CGI, maybe they're not using enough. There's always that middle ground. It's like, you use just enough to make it look great, but then you also have to hold back to where it doesn't look too fake or too computerized. The cinematography in this is very Guardians of the Galaxy, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like, I'm not a fan necessarily of Guardians of the Galaxy. It is James Gunn. I want to address some controversies people have had about this scene. That honestly just looks like a different shot. That part is like, okay, easily explained as maybe it was a different take they had, which makes sense because, like, you know, a teaser that was 4 months ago, they were probably still just like in production more or less, or maybe just entered post-production. And now, whether you hate Zack Snyder, Henry Cavill, Batman vs. Superman, Man of Steel, whether you hate those or not, the Snyderverse, anything associated with that, Henry Cavill was more humble, and like, I understand, like, there's a scene like, I don't care what they say or what they think. However, like, he was still humble about it. Batman vs. Superman is basically a story of mankind having to deal with the realization that someone like Superman exists, and like, whether we like it or not, he's here. Like, basically how humanity copes with that realization, how humanity reacts to someone like Superman. That's a wide angle. It looks like wide angle to me. That does not look good. It looks like a wide angle lens too up close to his face. I do love the layout of this office. This actually reminds me a lot of Smallville, the TV show with Tom Welling. I'll be honest, this suit, at least in this shot, looks very CGI. At least the blue part. I don't know if that's the way they colored, or I should say, dang it, I'm trying to use technical terms. The way they made the film look, the blue looks very CGI, or just the suit in general. So, people all over social media have been comparing this trailer to Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, which, you know what? They should. Because those are the most recent versions of Superman. So, right here, in Man of Steel, the same thing happened with Superman. Well, this Lois feels very reminiscent of like how, I think her name was Margot Kidder, how her Lois was portrayed. It's kind of like a modernized version of the 70s character. Another reference people make to the beginning of Batman vs. Superman. Why is Jonathan alive? Jonathan was supposed to have died before he even became Superman. Like, years before. Like, Jonathan died when Clark was a teenager. In high school. So, like, well, why is he alive? Some of the cinematography choices, like, wide-angle lens should be used very scarcely. I'll be honest, the main thing that will probably bring this movie down is the CGI, because a lot of it looks bad. Unless they fix it and make it look better in the coming months. Because this movie comes out in 2 months. They can do a lot in those 2 months. However, they still need to save the money for like a crap load of marketing. That's another thing. The marketing for this movie has been garbage. The biggest thing I hate is the logo. I don't know if that's like an actual logo from a Superman comic, but it is an awful logo. Maybe it's based on a comic. Maybe it's from a comic that this story is supposed to be based on. Which, if that's the case, fine. Who cares? It just looks awful. The Man of Steel Superman logo was at least an S. This literally just looks like a line going from one corner to the edge. Like, it looks awful. I'm gonna say it. The suit is terrible. It doesn't show off his muscles. It's too loose. Trunks, I don't think works well in like modern superhero films. Like, what character in the MCU uses trunks that used them like 50 years ago? None of them. As far as I'm aware, no hero in the MCU or villain is using their trunks. Why does this have trunks? Get rid of the trunks, the suit would look 10 times better. Hopefully he gets a new suit later. Either later in the movie or in the sequels. If it does well for a sequel. Filmed for IMAX though. I was gonna say, I love IMAX. Especially with very certain shots. I don't know, man. I want this movie to do good. Someone said it looks like a 6 out of 10 movie. Honestly, I have to agree. Anyways, that was the official Superman 2025 trailer. The teaser is a better trailer than this trailer. And, well, we got 2 months. Be sure to hit the like button, share this with your friends, get subscribed, tell your friends about the new Superman. See if they've even seen any of Superman movies, and if anything, show them the special edition, or the expanded edition of the original Superman, and then show them Man of Steel. Give this movie a chance. We'll see you guys in the next one.